Hi, my babies, and welcome back to another video. It's your girl, Virgo Garden. If you don't know, now you know. Anything you need to know about little me will be down below in the description box. You do not have to be a Virgo to watch this video. Alright, babies, so it's time for episode 2 of Couch Talk. I'm excited, y'all. I am rolling with these videos now. First, I was so nervous. Now look at me. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the universal law of change. Change is something very important when it comes to anything in life, not just your mental health. But if you want any manifestations to happen, you have to change and you have to adapt to create not the perfect, but to create the right conditions for the future that you want to manifest. So, mental health, what we want to manifest with mental health is peace. We want to manifest, being able to have a day without our mind attacking us, without our brain attacking us. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people like to take mental health and use it as an attention mechanism, because that is something that, like, if somebody hears, oh, I'm about to kill myself, usually if they have a heart, they're going to stop what they're doing. And I feel like it's a lot of people that like to abuse the terminology mental health issues or mental health challenges when they don't really have them. I personally believe people that truly have mental health issues and mental health challenges, it comes from trauma. It's not, oh, I'm behind on bills, or oh, he doesn't love me anymore. It's from trauma and needing to heal that. And unfortunately, y'all, with trauma, when you experience trauma or multiple traumas like I have, it doesn't go away. You just learn how to live with it better. Now, in order to get to the point where you know how to manage it better or how to live with it better, because some people in my life, when I came out and I'm like, yo, I'm suicidal, or I've tried to kill myself, or whatever, they're like, what? Nina? You? What? But you're so happy, and you're so this, and you're so that. But it took me a while to get to this point, and I had to change in order to get there. So the first clip that I'm going to play for y'all is the 3 steps of change. So go ahead and watch the clip and I'll be right back. 3 steps of change. Faith. No matter how bad it may seem, you first have to have faith that things will get better and that you have the willpower to get it done. Choices. Whether it's an opportunity or obstacle, you will have to make a choice with how you deal with it. You must decide what a quality life is to you and align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what that is. Prepare a space for it. Desire and passion. Your desire is your want for it. Your passion is the action you take towards it. Without desire and passion, changes will not happen. You can have all the talents and intelligence in the world, but without genuine desire and passion, you will not be able to see the full potential of progress. Alright, y'all, so that was the clip on the 3 steps of change, which is faith, choices, and passion. You got to have all 3 of those if you want to see some real change in your life, because without one, it's not really gonna happen. You be going nowhere. Also, another thing with, especially when you're working on your healing with mental health issues or mental health challenges, it's extremely important to be patient with yourself. It's extremely important not to beat yourself up. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna have backslides and all of that. It's okay. You're going to have days when you don't feel happy, when you're going to cry and boo-hoo, and you're just going to feel down, or where you might feel antsy or angry or nervous and anxious. It's okay. The whole point, y'all, is to keep going. That's how you get there, okay? That's how you get there. So I'm going to play y'all one more clip, and then I'm going to come back and, of course, tell you a story. And this clip is on 3 signs you're scared of change. Ooh, let's get into it. 3 signs you're scared of change. Mental paralysis. You become overwhelmed by the thought of change that you become stuck in an overthinking cycle and end up procrastinating. Take it one day at a time. Being judged by others. You'd rather not ruffle feathers and voice your opinion or freely express yourself because you're scared of how others may think or feel. So you self-sacrifice, stop caring what others think of you, and being scared of initiation. You talk and think about the life you want, but you never take the action towards the goals. You don't try because deep down you feel you won't ever make it. Change your feelings and thoughts about yourself and know that you don't have to be perfect. Like Granny says, nothing beats a failure but a try. So that was the clip on the 3 signs that you're scared of change. We all go through it. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Remember that. Okay, so hold on, let me go get some tissue. Okay, yeah. So I am going to tell y'all a story that majority of my family does not know. And I would say probably about 99% of the people, 99.5% of the people in my life does not know. And even the ones that do know it, they don't know the whole story. So, here we go. Okay. Please remember, this is my life. Okay. Putting myself out there. Please be respectful. Thank you. So, as y'all know, who've been watching me for a while, from the age of 4 to the age of 13, I was molested by 5 family members. It started with my cousin, my male cousin, who is the one right over me. He's a year older than me. He started when I was 4. And it was just him at first, and then we moved to another city. Now, when it started with him, it was a big-ass house that we lived in, and it was like 3 families in there. We're all family, but it's like 3 different families in that thing. And so nobody would really know that was going on, because that was a big-ass house, and nobody would expect that to go on. Now, when we moved to the city I ended up growing up in, that's when 2 more cousins started touching on me, and they're actually brother and sister. Now, I can only assume the reason why these 3 cousins were touching on me is because it happened to them. Because remember, I was 4 when it started with my cousin, and I need to come up with a name for him. Dominic. We'll call him Dominic, okay? So, my cousin, Dominic, it started with him. He's the one we're going to focus on, though. And then, of course, I know my sister molested me, and then I had another cousin that did as well once. So, Dominic is the one who's been doing it the longest, though, right? Now, the first person I told I got molested was my ex-fiance. And I told him because I felt like I could trust him. I mean, we were engaged, we were supposed to be getting married, you know, together for the rest of our lives. There's something you need to know about me. Like, that was I felt like he was my best friend. I had nothing to hide from him. So, I told him when I was 18. He was the first person to know. I told him before he ended up moving in with me and my family, right? So people just naturally think because me and my sister, y'all know, that sister, because we grew up together, like we're naturally close, like how siblings are. We're not. I don't have a good relationship with any of my siblings right now. And 3 of them is because I just don't know them like that, and we're trying to get to know each other. But of course, my sister I grew up with, we got issues. Like, Aaliyah, you got issues. I got issues. We got issues. Okay? So, when he moved in with us, he started, you know, getting more into the family dynamic. And I guess it felt like a family unit with us. Okay? So, mind you, he's thinking me and my sister is cool like that. And we're not. And he told her, because I only told him about 1 cousin. I didn't tell him that she did it and it was 3 other cousins. I just told him about 1 cousin. The one that he met too and he was mad cool with. But the reason why I told him about that 1 cousin, because he was the one that affected me the most, because he did the nastiest shit to me. Okay, he did the nastiest shit to me. When I don't really remember the age, y'all. It was either 10 or 11. He made me give him fellatio, which is he made me suck his dick at 10 or 11 years old. And he told me if I didn't, he was going to beat me and he was going to get me in trouble. I remember he threatened me and I was scared. And so I did it, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to stop, and he wouldn't let me stop. So the only way I could get him to stop was I bit him, and he of course was mad, but I got the fuck out the room after I bit him. So that's why he affects, like, out of all of them at that point in time in my life at 18, that was the one that stuck with me the most. I remember, like, that particular cousin, he made a comment when I had grew breasts, because when he made me suck his dick at 10, 11, I didn't have breasts. But then, like, by the time 11, 12 hit, 11 closer to 12, I started growing breasts. And as y'all know, because y'all know I don't like to wear bras, my nipples show. And it's always been like that since I was younger. Like, there's nothing I can do to control that. They're just like that. They're just big and juicy, and I mean shit, okay? So he made a comment one time, 'cause I had a tank top on just like I do now, and he was like, oh, it's cold in here, isn't it? And it wasn't cold, but I knew he was talking about my nipples. So of course that made me uncomfortable too. And then also I was 12, almost 13, like literally weeks out from being 13, like 3 weeks out from being 13. And that was the last time one of my family members touched me, and he titty fucked me. I had big breasts by then, because I had started gaining weight like crazy because I was so depressed and I was eating so much. And I had big breasts then, and he made me lay down and push my titties together, and he fucked me in my titties, and he ejaculated on me, and he left me laying there on the floor at 12 years old with cum all over my titties. Yeah. So I trusted my ex-fiance, and he told my sister because he thought we were close. I didn't know he told my sister. Never had a conversation with me, babe, by the way I told your sister. Never. I'm sitting there at 18 years old on the living room floor talking to my mom. My sister's sitting on the couch, and my mom's sitting on the other couch. And my sister just busts out of nowhere. She was like, oh, like cousin such and such did when he used to molest you. Like a aha, I told her before you did. And she just wanted to see my facial expression. And she kind of did a little grin when I looked at her like, bitch, what? What'd you just say? And my mama was like, such and such molested you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, because I didn't feel like I could. And that was pretty much the end of that conversation with my mother at that point in time at 18. So that's just a little background of how things were handled. Now, I did try to tell my mother when I was 9 that, mommy, I'm getting molested. People are touching me. I don't like it. But she works a lot. And I remember I went in her room to tell her, and she was getting ready for bed. And she was like, Nina, whatever you want to talk to me about. She's like, come talk to me about it tomorrow. I'm too tired. So that's why I don't like to open up and talk to people about shit. Because I feel like you don't give a fuck anyway. So, Okay, so fast forward some. Ex-fiance knows, mama knows, sister knows. So from 18 to about 26, my mom only knew it was one person. My dad, I told him about that one person, and he was pissed the fuck off, and he was like, see, this is why I want to be more involved in your life, this, that, and the third. Bullshit. But anyway. So, as y'all know, I do believe I told y'all the story when I had, like, my first real major breakdown with being suicidal, and my mother had no clue I was suicidal. And I just came home one day from work, because I told my ex-fiance almost a year before I had that breakdown that I was suicidal, and he was like, if you ever feel suicidal, you call me. I don't care what the fuck it is, you call me. I don't ever want you to take your life. I love you too much, this, that, and the third. You're supposed to be my wife, this, that, and the third. Y'all know how that shit goes. So I believed him, and I believe he was, still riding for me. We're still friends even after the breakup, because I'm cool like that. And I'm thinking things is good between me and him, and he has an understanding of who I am as a person, because I have an understanding of who he is as a person, right? So I come home and I have the breakdown because I called him before I came home, and he picked up the phone and he was like, you crying too much, you got an attitude, you need to stop that suicide shit, like, you stronger than that, you ain't no weak bitch, you need to toughen up. That's basically what I got hit with. So that just added on. I came home And I just snapped on my mama. All she said was, "How was work, Nina?" And I just threw my lunch bag at her, and I just started going the fuck off because I'm in a room with my sister, and my sister keep masturbating, and I gotta listen to that shit, and that shit fucking with my triggers, and I just got tired, y'all. And I realized I tried to take my life, and I called my father. Y'all know the story. And I called my father, and if he hadn't that picked up, I would have killed myself. I'm thinking my mother, after seeing that, she understands that my daughter really needs help. Now, so fast forward, okay, because that was 2017, right? And my mom and my grandma were going to go see Dominic, that's the first cousin that started molesting me, parents, and fuck it, they live in North Carolina. Shit, okay, who the fuck am I protecting? Okay, they live in North Carolina. Alright, so she went down there, and she is in North Carolina. I'm in New York, though, and it's Easter weekend. Went to go see my other sister again, and it's Easter weekend, and I didn't know she was going to have the conversation with Dominic's mom, and she did, and I find out, see, that was April 2017 when she had the conversation with Dominic's mom that, hey, your son molested my daughter. By the way, Dominic's mom is her favorite sister, so she get away with a lot of shit with my mama. So fast forward to 2019. It was the beginning of May 2019. It may have been the end of April. And I remember I was having a nope, it was March 2019. I was having a conversation with my mama. And I remember because I remember the power went out. So me and her was talking. And she told me, she said, I had a conversation with your aunt, Dominic's mom, in 2017 about you getting molested. I read her disappointment I had wrote about that because I'm like, I'm really like not good right now, and I just needed to vent. And I read her this poem I wrote about the shit I've been through with that, and she was like, well, I had a conversation with Dominic's mom. And I said, you did? I said, well, what did she say? She said nothing. I said, what? She said we was about to watch a movie and she just pressed play on the movie. I was like, oh. So I already knew in my head she doesn't believe me. Now, why she doesn't believe me is because her husband, when me and my sister were younger, got accused of molesting my sister. My sister came out and said, hey, Uncle such and such been touching on me. And I do remember my mama called the police, but she called the police on the other uncle because he was living with us, and not on the uncle that's in North Carolina. So my sister allegedly, because my sister lied so much, who knows, had two of my uncles that was touching on her, and one of them was Dominic's daddy. Which makes sense, because how at 5 years old can Dominic tell me to get on top of him and gyrate my hips like I'm riding his dick at 4 or 5 years old? How can you tell me that? Or how can you tell me we're going to play a game, you got to get completely naked, or you putting your hand in my training bra and stuff like that? Like, how would he know to do all of that unless it happened to him? So, when she told me she had that conversation with her and she didn't say nothing, that shit blew my fucking mind. I was like, what? I was like, oh, so this bitch don't believe me. Bet. So, you've been around me for 2 years, and that's why the energy, I'm like, why the energy been off with her? And that's why, because my mama had that conversation with her and I didn't know. So, naturally in my mind, I'm like, okay, so it was me against my family. Already, like, TTG already. I'm like, that's how we gonna carry it. I don't know why I thought they would be more empathetic or sympathetic towards my situation. I don't know why. But, you know, black sheep of the family. You know how that shit go. So, fast forward to the end of April, beginning of May 2019. I remember I was having a conversation with my grandma, and she was like, I'm about to go down to North Carolina to go see them and whatnot. I was like, I bet. And then in between March 2019 and before my grandma went down there, my grandma found out I had got molested. My grandma did not know all this time I had got molested, and she found out about everybody. And she was like, what? How could all of that have been going on in my house and I didn't know? And da-da-da-da. Grandma was livid. Okay, grandma was livid. Mama was not. Grandma was livid. So I felt like, okay, grandma is on my side. And she was like, when I go down there, I'm going to have a conversation with her about it, because that ain't right, and this, that, and the third. And no, we going to sit down as a family, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, all right, grandma, whatever, you know. Whatever you say, granny, whatever you say, boo. Because I'm like, that shit ain't going to go right if she do. So I'm thinking that she was, right? That she was going to have this conversation with her. And I remember I was having a bake sale. and my aunt and my uncle was bringing her home, and I was there. And I was doing a lot. Okay, I was having a bake sale, and also I was cooking dinner as well, because I'm like, might as well cook dinner while you doing the bake sale. And I had to go to a client's house right after I was done frying my chicken, because baby, if you don't know, Shorty make the best fried chicken on the East Coast. Okay, I make the best fried chicken on the East Coast. So like the fried chicken, it must be right, it must be perfect. I need to sit here, I need to watch it, love on it, and make sure it gets to the right temperatures and coloration and all of that for dinner. Y'all know I don't play about my food. So my grandma was coming back, and like, I ain't seen Granny in a while, I want to see Granny. Now, I thought it was clear that they were not to come in the house, my aunt and my uncle, Dominic's parents. They were not to come in the house, because you already know I got an issue with them. So you just let them, put the bags at the door and tell them keep rolling. Okay, them spend enough time with you. They ain't got to give you no hug and kissing out. Then do that shit and keep it rolling. Right? That's not what happened. Now, y'all already know, okay, in June 2018, I got in the car accident that really, 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 really fucked me up. From my neck to my knees, y'all, I'm fucked up, okay? Like, seriously, front and back, I'm fucked up. Like, multiple MRIs, still going through shit, okay? So, my aunt and my uncle know I got in a car accident. They know I can't work. They know this, that, and the third. I'm in pain. They know I got surgery coming up. All this stuff, right? Then they also know I got in a car accident in April 2019, which is not even barely a month prior to them bringing my grandmother back to Virginia. And they know my back and my hips were fucked up royally. Remember that they know I have chronic pain in my back, my neck, my hips. They know this, right? So my nasty ass uncle brings his ass in the house first. So I'm laying on the couch because Shorty been doing too much frying, baking, running here, running there. And I'm just trying to go ahead and get this last batch of chicken fried so I can go ahead and go to my client's house and go on about my life. Alright? Now, nasty ass uncle come in the house. Ain't nobody in the house but me and him, and at this point in time, right? So I'm laying on the couch and I got on some yoga pants, and Shorty right in the right places. I'll just say that I'm right in the right places. So he was like, "Hey Nene." I ignore him, scrolling on my phone, because me, my mama taught me you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I know if I say I'm really feeling towards you, it's all gonna come out. That motherfucking Aries rising is gonna come all out on your ass, and we don't want that, not in front of grandma, right? So he was like, "Hey Nene," ignored him, scrolling. Say it again. "Hey Nene," ignored him, scrolling. So he about to leave back out the house to go get some more bags. So he leaves out the house, comes back in. No one else is in the house again, just me and him. Mama, grandma, and the other one, that would be Dominic's mama, my aunt, the other one, they're outside. Don't know what they're doing, don't give a fuck. I just want this chicken to be done so I can go. So when he comes back in the house the second time, "Hey Nene, I'm not speaking to you. Catch a hint." So I didn't say nothing. So he comes over and he touches me on my thigh. He was like the thick part of the thigh too. He was trying to be slick. "Hey Nene." So I'm all uncomfortable. I say hi just to get him off of me, right? I'm all uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't know if you touched my sister or not. I know your son touched me. Like, I'm very uncomfortable. So I didn't say all of that, but I'm thinking that in my head, and I just say hi. Like a soft hi, just to get him up off of me. So then my mom and my grandma and the other one, that's the aunt, comes in the house. And then he comes in the house with the other bags, the rest of the bags, right? So my aunt speaks to me. She said, "Hey Nina." Didn't say nothing. So she waits like a good 30 seconds to a minute. So she says, "Hey Nina," again. Still scrolling on my phone. She said, "Oh, you not speaking to me?" I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Oh, well, that's fine with me. I don't care either way." Now, mind you, she's mad because a couple months prior to them seeing me, because that's their first time seeing me, me and their daughter got into it on Facebook because their daughter tried to carry me, and I had to let her know that's not how you about to carry me. I don't give a fuck who's on your Facebook. You're not gonna carry me like I'm just some type of criminal or something, like I'm not educated, like I'm not a businesswoman, like I ain't did this and like I ain't did that. That's not how you about to carry me, okay? So she didn't like it. She got in her feelings. She wanted to get in my inbox and cuss me out. So I did end up apologizing to her, but she decided she wanted to delete me and block me off her Facebook. That's fine. I don't give a fuck, bitch. You don't be checking on me anyway. So what relevance do you have to my life? So I'm like, okay, well, I apologize to your daughter. So I don't know why y'all have an attitude with me still. They was like, well, we know that you apologized to her and this, that, and the third. All right, cool. Then fine. We don't need to talk no more. So I'm thinking it's understood. We're not talking. Stop talking to Nina. Nina don't want to be talked to by y'all. No, they want to keep talking. My aunt want to keep running her mouth. You ain't got to talk to me, though. That's fine. And this, that, and the third. I don't care about your attitude. And this, that, and the third. All right, fine, cool. And I'm sitting there silent, not saying nothing. On my phone. And she just kept popping. I was like, well, you can leave. Okay? You can leave. You really can. And she was like, I don't have to leave. This is my mama's house. I was like, well, guess what? I'm a leaseholder, so therefore, you have to leave. I said, oh, I'll call the police on you. And the reason why I said I was going to call the police on them is because my family like to talk a lot of shit about me. Like, oh, she be struggling. Oh, this, that, and the third. Yeah, I be struggling because at 18, bitch, I was seen as a fucking terrorist in this country. And I'm still seen as a fucking terrorist in this country because I defended myself against 2 police officers. What job is going to want to hire somebody that you can't even call the cops on? So yeah, you sit up here and talk shit about me, but while you talking shit about me and my struggles, make sure you know that you talking shit about Trayvon Martin. Make sure you know that you talking shit about Sandra Bland, Corin Gaines, Eric Garner, and so many other people. Because if they lived, they would have got charged like I got charged with 2 Class 6 felonies against police officers, and it'd be hard as fuck for them to find a job. Know that shit. So when you talking shit about people with criminal backgrounds, you might want to watch your fucking mouth. So it's a lot of anger built up, y'all, clearly. So I'm like, just get out my house. You don't leave, I'm going to call the police on you. Bet. Now, you could have a criminal record, too, or something on your background, too, and then you know how it feels if you got to go apply for another job and that shit on your fucking background. Fine. Feel that shit. Remember I told y'all my therapist said I try to give my pain back to people who gave it to me? That was one of them moments, okay? And she was like, I ain't got to leave this, that, and the third. And my uncle was like, nah, come on, let's leave. And my grandma was like, nah, y'all need to leave, for real. Y'all need to leave. And that's when I realized, when I got up to get the phone, because I didn't call them, but I just got up to get the phone and let them know I'm not fucking playing, get the fuck away from me. And that's when I realized my grandma didn't have that conversation with her like she said she was. You were talking all this big shit, you gonna have this conversation with her, and you didn't. And you didn't. So you left me out there to dry again. You left me out there unprotected again. You left me out there to defend myself again, to look like a fucking mad woman. Because the shit was not handled and didn't nobody have my back. Bet. So I turned to my grandma, I said, you didn't handle this. I said, you didn't talk to her like you said you was going to talk to her. And my grandma, she made this face like, oh shit. How did she know that? Oh shit. I'm trying to tell you, intuition be strong as a bitch. And she said, no, Nina. She said, I didn't have a conversation with her. And I'm like, why didn't you have a conversation with her? And you said you were. And she said, well, because your mama said she already had the conversation with her, so I figured it was handled. But me and you had that conversation when I told you mama said she already had that conversation with her, and clearly the shit won't handle. So why wouldn't, I didn't cuss at my grandma, but I was like, so why wouldn't you have that conversation? And because my grandma is timid. Hold on, y'all. But it's because my grandma, like I was saying, my grandma is timid. My mother is the same way. They don't like confrontation. Confrontation is not a bad thing. Conflict is a bad thing. Confrontation is actually facing something so you can get to the fucking solution. Confrontation is needed because confrontation means you're facing it, not running from it. Confrontation means you're facing it. Conflict is when it's clashing and all of that chaos and shit there. So they're not confrontational people at all. And I know this about them. So that turns into me and my aunt going back and forth with what I told y'all about me and her daughter going back and forth. And that's when it was like, well, we know you apologized to her. So why am I still being seen as the bad guy and I got cussed out and I ain't get apologized to when she was the one in the wrong? Black sheep of the family shit, y'all. That's what I be talking about. Black sheep of the family shit. So me and my aunt end up going back and forth, and my aunt ended up bucking on me. Like, she tried to, I guess she was gonna blow a fuse or something. I don't know what the fuck she was gonna do. But she ended up bucking on me though. And I started cussing her out. And I was like, fuck, but you older than me shit now. You're just gonna get cussed out. So she started getting cussed out royally. And that's when I realized, you didn't tell your husband about this shit. So he don't know what the fuck me and you going back and forth about, or what the fuck I'm fussing my grandma out about. I said, Uncle, oop, I almost said his name. I said, oh well. But I was like, did you know that Dominic was touching on me when I was little? Did you know he was telling me I had to get naked, this, that, and the third? And he was like, no, Nene, I didn't know that, Nene. If I didn't know that, if I would have known that, he was like, I would have done something to stop it. Bullshit. He lying. And I think he was the uncle that was touching on my sister, and not the other uncle that she accused of. Because I didn't know he had got accused of touching on my sister. I just knew about the other uncle that did, because they called the police to our house. But I remember it was a few years before this, my uncle came up to me and he was like, I didn't molest your sister. Like, he caught me off to the side smoking a cigarette. Cause me and him used to be mad cool. He was like, I ain't do that, Nene. I ain't do that to her. And I'm like, why would he just come out of nowhere just talking about something? I ain't molest your sister. I won't think about that. I didn't even think he was accused of that or anything. I just listened to him and let him talk. So, guilty conscience. So, he did it. I do believe he touched my sister. I do. So he's sitting up there putting on a front, you know, in front of course, grandma and mama. Oh, Nene, if I would have known that, I would have stopped that. I would have stopped it. I would have stopped it. Bullshit. Bullshit. So that gets to the point where me and him are trying to have a conversation, and my aunt gets mad. My grandma was like, you need to leave. Talking to my aunt, you need to leave. So she's walking towards the door, about to head out the front door. And I grabbed my uncle's hands because my aunt kept trying to get me from saying Dominic touched me. She kept trying to keep me from saying it. I was like, oh, nah, bitch, I'm saying that shit today. So I grabbed my uncle's hands. I was like, Uncle such and such. I said, the reason why I tried to commit suicide 2 years ago is because Dominic was touching on me. Do y'all know my aunt turned around at the door, looked me in my face and said, good, and slammed the door? I said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I felt like not only did you disrespect me, you disrespected so many people that suffer from mental health issues and challenges, and that have committed suicide or lost somebody to suicide. For you to say good that I almost committed suicide, and not only was Dominic sent to a mental, we'll call it a mental house, a mental place, whatever, but so was your husband. Both of them that went to what people like to call, I don't mean no disrespect, the crazy house. But you sit up there and say that shit to me, and both of them got sent there because they was about to commit suicide? Jeez, I wonder why. Them demons riding their ass, that's why. So when she said good, I just naturally start running towards the door. Now, y'all, my auntie is a very voluptuous woman. I don't even want to say voluptuous, because voluptuous means you're sexy. There's no sexy there. It's just blah. Okay? So she starts heading towards the car. I run towards the door. My uncle, who is known for putting his hands on women, but you know, he's a man of God now. He grabs me by my shoulder and spins me around. So I push him up off me and I run towards the door again. Now it's this like couch by the door in my grandma's house. So when he grabs me again by the door, I push him on the couch. Going to go and lock the door. He gets up. He grabs me again. I push him on the couch again. He gets up. So this time, when he gets up, this time I actually ended up fucking up my toe. I don't know if I broke it or sprained it. But when he got up the third time, I had to let that nigga know, I'm not playing with you. I took that nigga and slung him on the couch. And he was like, ooh. It fell back and shit. Now, at this point in time, when I came back upstairs later on in the story, I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't they protect me? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, why wouldn't they protect me? Why wouldn't they get him off of me? Even though I was handling mines, why wouldn't they get him off of me? So I make it down the steps, and I'm running towards my aunt. I didn't know my uncle was right behind me. That nigga right behind me, right? So I start running towards the car, and he was like, and he said his wife's name. He was like, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. And I was like, yeah, bitch, get in the car. Because I was running, I was coming for fucking blood. Cause you talking about some good, I got molested and I almost killed myself. Bitch, is you crazy? So I start running towards her, right? And she had one leg in the car and she saw me coming and she took her leg out the car. So when I get up to her, I'm already got my shit cocked and everything. And me and her swung at the same time and hit each other at the same time. But, you know, my shit's quicker. So, I mean, her one hit was still landing. And I was coming for 2, 3, and 4 already. And I was like, and I was just popping her ass. And the next thing I know, well, I went to go grab her hair. But my aunt has really, 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 really short hair. And I forgot that, and I went to go grab it. When I went to go grab it, she went like that, and her head went down. I was like, damn, I forgot this bitch bald-headed. So I'm trying to figure out another way, but I'm still fighting her at the same time. And next thing I know, I just feel myself get picked up and bow, slam to the ground. I hit my hips, I hit my back, I hit my neck, I hit the back of my head, and I got knocked unconscious for like 2-3 seconds. And I remember feeling my ass roll up in the back of my head. My uncle came up from behind me and slammed me to the ground, y'all. When I come back to, my uncle has me pinned down on the ground. My aunt is standing on the left side of me by my feet, and my uncle is literally right here on my right side, and he got me pinned down on the ground like this. And actually, I don't know, y'all can see it, but it's like little marks right here. That's from where I scraped the skin off my damn elbow to get my fist free to be able to pop his ass. Because when I came back to and I looked at him, and he was like, you thought I was just gonna let you beat my ass, you thought I was just gonna let you beat my wife's ass, bitch? And he popped me in my face. He punched me in my face, got me pinned down after you done slammed me. You know I'm in chronic pain. And he punched me in my face. And that's when I fought to get my fist free. Now, my aunt, she was frozen because she looking at me like, oh shit, is she dead? So she didn't move because she's still frozen. But I got my fist free, and I popped that nigga in his face, and it left a mark all there on his eye and stuff. And then my aunt get mad again because she realized, oh, that bitch okay. So she start trying to fight me while he still got me pinned by my other arm. So I'm kicking my aunt off of me. I'm popping this nigga, trying to get my other arm free. He talking shit, I'm talking shit, still kicking this bitch, trying to get her off of me. And the next thing I know, finally something clicked in my mother's head, and my mother was getting my uncle off of me. Which, I don't know why they thought the fight would be over, because it wasn't. Because, oh no, when I get up, oh bitch, it's a problem. So I got up, and when I got up, because I remember now, you're bald-headed, I grabbed her by her dress. And so she had one of them V type of dresses, ladies, y'all know, the ones that got the V cut. And so I grabbed her by both of them jinks. Bitch, you coming with me in this grass. Now, like I told y'all, my aunt is voluptuous. So I would say auntie is somewhere close to, if not 300, around there somewhere. 275, 300, about up there somewhere, okay? So, I pull her in the grass with me. And my uncle is on my right side. My mama is on my left side. My aunt is looking at me like, let me go, you crazy bitch. And I'm like, no. All I see is red right now, bro. All I see is red. We talking about 2 decades of me holding this shit in. You gonna straight disrespect like that? Fuck no. So, my uncle, he got my arm. Cause I got my aunt. And my uncle got my arms pent so I can't hit her. But my mama got her hands on top of my uncle, like, let her go. And he's telling her, no, I'm not gonna let her go, because she gonna whoop her ass. I'm not letting her go. And so I'm like, I bet. And I'm sitting here talking shit to her. I'm like, bitch, how the fuck could you say some shit like that to me? Da 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 da. And I remember Candy Burris from the group Escape. I remember she said that how she used to start fight, like when she would start fighting to throw the person off, she would headbutt that ass. And that's exactly what I did. I headbutt the fuck out my aunt. I almost knocked her the fuck out. And I remember when I headbutt her, I remember she screamed. She let out like this loud scream, like, oh my God, I'm too old for this. Oh mother bitch, you should have thought about this shit before you got to popping off upstairs and shit. So, I realized, oh, they're not going to let me go. Now, I don't stop fighting because I have not ever lost a fight. Okay, knock on wood. I have not ever lost a fight. I don't stop fighting until I put the person on the ground. That's when I'm going to stop. So, I realized, okay, bitch, well, they ain't going to let me myself to the ground. And I put my feet on my aunt's stomach and I slammed her on the other side of me. And that's when I slammed her on the other side of me, that's when I started scratching her legs and shit because I couldn't get to her face. And I remember she kicked me in my face. And when she kicked me in my face, that's when I snapped out of it. And I was like, you know what? I need to go and go make my money. I don't need to be out here fighting these motherfuckers. So I remember when she kicked me in my face, she said, I'm too old for this. I said, bitch, you should have thought about that shit. But I got up, and when I got up, my uncle was walking with me and shit because he was trying to get me away from her. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. You knew that shit she said was dead motherfucking wrong, and you dead motherfucking wrong too. I go upstairs, and all I know is when my mama came back upstairs, she was like, my uncle was downstairs talking shit, telling me some of his sons was here, this shit would have came out different. Came out different how? Came out different how? Let me know. I remember I snapped on my mama and my grandma. I remember I tore that fucking house up. I was throwing vases, glasses, everything. I was pissed the fuck off. And I went to my client's house, well, my customer's house. Just so happened the customer house I went to was somebody I was in a SOS group with, which is survivors of sexual trauma, which is how I started my healing journey with this. It started with that group, and that was in 2018, right after I had the miscarriage and I was depressed. So me and her was sitting there talking, and she helped me through it. But that made me realize, y'all, I really need to go talk to somebody. And that's how I ended up going to go see my first therapist, because I'm like, I can't be out here doing this shit. I'm already in pain, and as y'all know, that shit made it so much worse. I remember when I came back that night, my mom was like, oh, she went to the hospital, you put a knot on her head, this, that, and the third, and it was a big knot, because she sent pictures. I don't give a fuck what I did. But I remember it was a few days later, here comes an inbox from Dominic. Oh, so I molested you. I hope you, and he was like, you better be lucky you still breathing. I hope you enjoy your life while you can now. I'll be seeing you real soon, cousin. Bet. Ain't seen you yet, but bet. Okay. Cousin. Bet. So, y'all, this is basically the story of how I knew I needed to make a change, and I didn't. And I waited till it was too late, and then my health ended up suffering from it, because now I have a tear in between my 3rd and 4th disc in my lumbar, which is my lower spine, and I also have a bulging disc as well, and my hips are tilted. I'm talking about possibly another surgery. So, like, I did not think of the bigger picture and how this was going to affect me later on down the line. Now, I definitely did think about, retaliating, in not so good ways legally. And I had to think about that because I'll be in jail and my grandmother will have family members in the ground, and that's going to put my grandma in a really bad position. But when I did come up back in the house, I asked them, why didn't y'all stop that shit when we was arguing? Why didn't y'all stop that shit when y'all saw he grabbed me? Like, why didn't y'all stop it? We thought you had it. We thought you could handle it. That's what I be talking about when I said sometimes you gotta be the chain breaker. You gotta understand the unable and the unwilling. Okay? Because what if I just decided to lay down and take this shit, y'all? You know how many people have inboxed me, hit me up, and told me how I've helped them with their own struggles by putting myself out there? Because the only way I know to kill feeling suicidal or being depressed is to talk about what the fuck I'm going through. Because I know now from sharing so many of my personal stories of shit I've been through, I ain't the only one that's been through it. And you can connect with somebody who understands that. That's what that survivor of sexual trauma group was about. Because I told y'all, when I was in that group, I'm in the group with women who have already had children, who are married or been married. I'm like, how do y'all deal with that? How do you deal with your child staying the night over somebody else's house? How do your husband deal with when you have those flashbacks or when you are triggered off? Because it don't ever go away. You just got to learn how to deal with it better. And, I mean, I got some answers, but they let me know, like, the shit is hard. Like, you got to find you a man that real life is strong and understands that. And one of them told me, they said, my children don't go to people's houses. If they want to have a sleepover, the child got to come over to my house. I feel you on that one. All right, y'all. So that is basically the story. And I'm going to come back and wrap it up. Are choices. I didn't make the choices that aligned with my quality of life. My emotions and thoughts were focused on the problem and not the solution or the bigger picture. My desire and passion is what led to my anger getting out of control. My desire to heal so bad after being in a mental and emotional prison for over 2 decades. I suffered heavy from mental paralysis, and because of this, how my family treats me on a personal level, I keep a lot of my thoughts and emotions to myself. That shit is so fucking true. I don't, like, trust issues started with them. Okay, it started, we're talking about 2 decades of abuse, y'all. Not just sexual abuse, but also mental abuse as well. So, like, my trust issues started with them. I don't like opening up. I don't like getting close to people because of my family. I have 4 fucking siblings, and I'm not close to any of them. All these cousins that did this shit to me, and then the adults in my family bullied me too. So, no, I don't, you know, that's something I seriously struggle with, but I'm working on it, okay? Let's see. I keep a lot of my thoughts and emotions to myself because I feel no one can respect or understand them, which is also my fear of being judged, like the notes talked about. And I took the initiative finally to get here, and look at me now. Look at me now. Oh, hey, I'm getting paper. Nah, I am so much happier though now, y'all, because 2 years ago, oh, shorty was a mess. When this shit happened 2 years ago, shorty was a mess. I felt like the whole fucking world was against me. Like, y'all, it was bad. I had people threatening to do things that wouldn't have been smart on my behalf, and I was like, nah, we can't do that. So, y'all, the universal law of change. These universal laws will work for you, but in order for them to work for you, you got to do the work too. So how bad do you really want it? Do you really, really want to take that next step? Do you really, really want to get to the next phase? What are you doing to align with that? Think about it. All right, babies. I'm your girl, Virgo Garden. If you didn't know that shit, I bet you know that shit now. How to follow me, how to book me, and how to get my wonderful, beautiful, amazing products that you all love so much will be down below in the description box. I love you, babies. Like I always tell you, before you give love to another, make sure you give love to yourself. Love you, babies. Mwah.